and that's something you need to. You just need to pound laps out really, and learn the car until you can't go any faster with the stock setup, and then you'll find there's things that you don't like and you can change, but you need to get to that point where you just can't go any faster. There is some cars in the game that are totally, well, not totally crap, but aren't great on stock, and that tends to be some of the open wheelers or the high downforce cars.
Or that Z4.
You can never make that good, let's be honest.
We found a way.
Yeah, it still wasn't great.
So what was your problem with the Z4? I've been using that stock setup for a while. I'm curious what sort of vices guys are trying to solve with that.
It just understeers a lot.
Okay.
The fix is classified until the end of next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's it just understeers a lot, and it's just the car, I think.
Yep.
You can mitigate it a bit with setup, but it's just the car. Just like some cars like to oversteer.
The GT3 physics don't like the old cars anymore.
Yeah. Oh, the 4 GT's fine. What are we going to go for tonight? Anyone has in particular questions or anything they want to ask, I guess? I don't know.
I suppose I've got a couple of things. I get bum in the seat and time. One thing I find when I think I am still too aggressive. I'm trying to get from A to B too quick rather than. I'd love to just go around my track and see where your braking points and your driving line is. But one thing I find is that I find that I'm squealing the tires a lot. I feel like when I'm going around corners, I'm pushing it and I feel like I'm probably losing time because I'm squealing tires. I might be wrong, and that might be the way to drive it, but I would just like somebody's take on that side of things. I've been, and the other thing I find is that when I'm on track with other people, I was with Rex the other day when we were on the Scandinavian on the Bubble Johns one, and I was following Rex rather than the track, and I kept missing my braking point and going off. So any tips around those two types of thing would be really beneficial to me from a racecraft point of view.
Yeah.
Well, as a Bubble Blast representative,
yes,
just hit Rex and take the penalty.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And option B.
I hear Rex has got one coming.
Yeah. But I just find when we're on Scandinavian, when you go past the first chicane and you got that first turn, it's the only place I went off 3 times where you got the big 180 where you go round. I didn't do it at all when I'm practicing, but as soon as I get a car around me, my driving just completely goes off speed. I just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're watching the other car too much, probably.
I'm with you there. There just seems to be like practice, and you reckon you sort of work out what you at the time you think is your perfect, where you want to be, where you want to exit, and where you want to enter, and all those sort of things. And the second you sort of put an obstacle in front of you, those rules no longer apply. You can't do any of that stuff, so you sort of instantly have to be going on the fly.
Yeah, I find if you're right up behind someone, that's the worst. If you're right up their date, I will quite often back off a bit so I can see my marks, or I'll pull to the side so I can see my marks. You compromise a little bit, but once you might do it for a couple of laps and then you get comfortable with the person following them, and you can find you can follow them closer. Then you've just got to try and make sure you can see, like back off a little bit or pull to the side a little bit so you can see your marks. Otherwise, you're right. You're just going to right up their ass, or you're going to miss your marks and fly off the track. It's one of those things. It's just experience, I guess. You've just got to try and make sure you can see your marks. Or if in doubt, you just have to back off a little bit earlier and maybe ride the brake a little bit, and then, there's my braking point. And then the next lap, you might think, I don't need to do that. Or 2 or 3 laps, you'll get a feeling for you don't need to do that. It's just a racecraft thing. It's experience, I guess.
Yeah.
I find that you practice and you get in a good lap, and then come race day, I have a hard time getting sort of within a second and a half of that lap after lap after lap.
Yeah. Are you practicing in a practice session or at the leaderboard?
So basically, I do a little bit of leaderboard and a little bit of server, so the tyres behave as they're going to on the day and all those sort of things. But I just find that with cars around me, I can't get anywhere near that.
You just get distracted, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. You could try, instead of doing the server, try just running an AI race.
Okay.
Because if you run a practice on, single player, it's still the same tyre wear, all that sort of carry on. So just run an AI race.
Yep.
And put them on adaptive, and it'll give you a bit more comfort with cars around you.
I suppose that's the big thing I'm missing at the moment, and that's just what I don't do. I just tend to go to time trial, man.
Yeah, do your practice solo, and then do a couple of AI races. And
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about crashing into them either.
Yep.
It's AI.
I'll just say that AI is good because if you set it to about 100 to 110 somewhere %, they're quite predictable, and so you'll feel comfortable in traffic. And then once you get used to that, then if you do things like TT where the drivers are a little bit more unpredictable, you'll eventually get used to that as well.
Yeah, and you'll also, because with Tuesday Thunder, you're running with mostly the same guys, so you get to know the guys that you can trust and the guys that you can't trust.
Yep.
Or some guys are demon into corners and other guys are demon out of corners. You just get to know, and that's part of normal real life racing too.
Yeah.
So, but the AI is a good way to get used to other cars around you, and then you'll find your pace. You'll get your pace back. It's just that's probably the best way to do it. The other thing before with the squealing of the tyres, I turn my tyre squeal up to 100% in the audio, and I turn my most of the rest of it down to like 50, 60, like the motor sound, all that, so I can really hear the tyres. And you can hear them squeal a little bit, and then you can hear them squeal more, and there's a difference. And
there are a lot of cues that come in through the sound.
Yep. And if you're coming through a corner and the tyres are squealing, and you turn more and it won't turn more and it's squealing, then you can't. It's not working. You need to roll the lock off. But there's different squeals, and you'll get to learn if you turn it up. That's what I use all the time. I have it turned up, and the motor and everything turned down, not off, but so the tyre squeal is quite prominent. And it's very
is that good though, Damo? Is the squeal good, or is that where you lose time?
No, there needs to be some squeal, because if it's not squealing, you're not using all the grip.
Yeah, okay.
And you're not getting the tyres into that slip where they want to be.
The belt.
There's also
Go on, Damo.
There's also that squeal where they're screaming too much.
Yeah, if you listen hard, there are a few different audio cues in there as to how hard or how easy the tyres are going. All inside that broad range of squeal, there's quite a few different sounds. I think they're trying to convey information to you.
Yeah. So if you have that turned up on the audio, then that helps you quite a bit, and you can hear your brake locking as well better. So I think that's under. Let's see which options are there.
Yeah, there's brake squeal volume, scrub volume, skid volume.
Yeah,
Wind
so I have
volume.
my brake squeal. I have my engine. It's 50 overall. Scrub volume, skid volume at 100%. Yep. So that's the ones. The scrubs, you've got tyre squeal, and the skid is basically if you're locking up, but it's all to tyre squeal as well.
Is that under options?
Options, sound and advanced.
Here we go. Okay, yeah, thanks. Yep, cool.
Yep.
I will say that the bell curve that the grip runs on in this game is very generous, very wide.
Yeah, okay.
Like, even if you go to something like AMS1 and you put in the same amount of steering lock, you're gonna crash. But a slick tyre does squeal a little bit all the time. Like, you're just rotating a lot of contact patch. So if there's no tyre noise, you need to turn more. But there's a difference between the scrub and the squeal of death when you're torturing them.
Yeah.
So in there, Damo, I'm on the advanced. So which one would you have at 100%?
Hang on a second.
Sorry to be specific.
The scrub volume and skid volume.
Both at 100.
Yeah, I turn most of the other stuff down. I have my brake squeal up, but that's nothing much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I turn my engine volume down to about 50%, and then you can just turn your overall, Windows volume up to get the.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So there was any other sort of questions, or we want to do some driving? I guess I could drive around, and I think you can through the monitor. You can follow me.
Yep.
And we can just do some general tips about this track if you want to race it on Sunday.
That would be good. I know we weren't going to talk setup today, and I don't want to jump into there, but
No.
I find that everyone talks, wherever I look at, they talk about the tyres being important. And I've been finding on the Z4 and even on the cars I've been using here that 2 or 3 of the tyres I can't get warm, whatever I do, based on all the things I look at. Is that really that important? I find the Z4, especially the one, unfortunately, that I couldn't get into at Zandvoort at the weekend, I couldn't get any of the tyres warm apart from the front left. Does that make a big difference?
I honestly don't really.
Zandvoort destroys the front left. Like, it
does.
plays well in everything.
Are you running Otter Hub?
Yes, I am. Yeah. So
I'm not sure if it's warm and hot as the colours are particularly accurate sometimes. But I honestly don't look at the tyre temperature much at all. If I get my tyre temperatures the good graduation across the inside, middle, and outside, then that's as good as it's going to get. I've never really had much of a problem with tyres. That's a bit of an ACC carryover. I think they're absolutely finicky with them.
Yeah.
But Raceroom's not so much. And I think it makes it a bit easier racing. You don't have to be absolutely, worrying about your tyres all the time.
Okay, it's good to know. Thank you.
Fun. Yeah.
I've noticed they are a little bit forgiving when they start to turn red or when they start to, go like it's not like they sort of disappear.
No, you do lose grip, but it's not like a switch most of the time.
Yeah, it's not iRacing.
Yeah,
No.
I suppose when you do the leaderboard, they're all at 85, but like this car here, or even in the Z series, they get up to the 95s, 100s, and the rest of them are in the blue around 60, 65, 70. Is that a big issue?
No, it's also different cars have got different compound tyres. You don't know what their optimum range is as well. So some are just cool and some want it to be hot. But I guess it depends on the tyre, and we don't know.
The Lotus is quite bad for that.
Yeah. Don't overthink it.
Remind me.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know, Simon, but specifically for leaderboard, Raceroom keeps the tyres perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Rex, is it? Is it Rex?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, Rex. Yeah, so so the one I've been in today, the KTM, on the leaderboard, but when I go into this one, I've got the left front being perfect, and the others are all in 60, 65 blue, and I'm thinking, what can I do? I work on what they say you can do with changing the pressures, maybe the camber, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. And I just wondered if it's a really big deal, if it's going to make a huge difference or not, or am I just thinking too much into it?
I would just get your pressures across the tyre in the range of 10 degrees. From inside is 10 hotter than, or 5 hotter than 10 on the
Yeah,
side.
okay.
So you
Yeah,
say
okay, yeah.
45, 40, and 35, and just go from there.
Okay.
You can alter them a little bit, but I would just more worry about getting your camber to get your pressure spread, your temperature spread more even than anything.
Good, thank you.
Have you got that program that does it? There's a program that does it. It's a little helper thing.
I think I've seen that before somewhere. Is it SimHub?
No, there's a little program. It's a separate program that pops up, and you run 3 or 4 or 5 laps, and it'll tell you how much camber to change and how much pressure to change.
No, I don't think I have then. No.
Yeah, I'll find it and put a link into the
Awesome.
later on tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
quite helpful.
You're in NZ, aren't you? You're miles away from me, so yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll find that. I think I've actually got it on here, so I might just chuck it up the file.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess maybe I'll go out on the track and we'll just roll around. And I'm in the what car am I in? The Lotus.
Yeah,
Lotus.
Lotus.
It'll be pretty similar for the other cars. It's just a general, this is what I do here, this is what I do there, this is what you can and can't do sort of thing.
Yeah, perfect.
My audio might cut out because I've got the button on the steering wheel, so we'll see. Right, I'll go out.
So, hey, Damo, turn 2 and turn 4, I reckon, are the hardest on Brand. If you could kind of explain what you do there. So, turn 2 is the hairpin, and turn 4 is before that kind of long back straight.
Yeah. I find turn 1 can be a bit hairy too. But I'll go through every corner and we'll,
Yep, that'll be sweet.
that'll be fine. Okay, so
Perfect.
you guys know how to get into the monitor and follow along on my car?
Yeah, is it best just to be in chase cam?
Yeah, race monitor and chase cam, yep.
Okay, all right.
So I'm there now, so you should be able to follow me out. It's going to be the kind of what I do on my telemetry videos without the telemetry, but I have got some telemetry I can show you guys later as well. So we'll do turn 1 after. Now I find this turn, I'm braking just before this overpass. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can brake late and turn in late, which is the faster way. But I find it oh, sorry, I took my finger off the thing. I find it a little bit inconsistent to do the late braking, so I earlier brake and earlier apex. Because this straight here now is quite short, it doesn't matter if you early apex and don't carry as much speed because the straight's so short you don't lose much.
So you really are trying to hug that curve in that.
Yeah, I
turn
try to brake and turn in earlier just to keep it on the curve because I find it more consistent. It's ultimately not as quick, but over a race, if you make 2 mistakes here because you're trying the fastest line, you lose all the time that you gained, plus more. So this, I'm braking at the line that's before the corner there, or just after the line. And I will stay in 3rd, and you got a late apex this corner here, and wait until you're almost over the brow to get on the gas. And you can ride this curb quite easily. Maybe I'll go for a hot lap and just, maybe that's the easiest way. So here at the change in colour, I'm braking to 4th. And you can power out on the curb. And here at the change in colour, I'm braking. A lot of curb here. That curb again. This next corner is a bit of feel, but that thing there, you got to sort of just touch the brake and roll through, and you can go onto the curb on the left there. This here, you got to turn in earlier than you think because there's a lot of camber on the inside of the corner.
Are you down to 2nd or are you staying 3rd in that one?
I stay 3rd there.
Okay.
I'll be 3rd for this corner. Here again, I try and early apex it and try and sort of, I let it come back through the side of the track here rather than stay out wide. I find that that's just my preference. So here I'm braking at the last board. Oh, and drifting. Oh. It's a bit
I
hard.
reckon I can follow that line.
It's a bit hard holding my finger on the push to talk.
Did you want to quickly change that?
No, it's all right. I'll get used to it. So here I'm down in close, and then wait, and then you can go out. Here I just breeze the brake. Sometimes it doesn't turn in here, you can just touch the brake a little bit more and it'll turn in.
often I'll go down a gear to try and get the car to rotate a bit more.
Yep, that's valid too.
It'll also very much depend on what car. Like the Audi has 7 gears, so it's always a gear higher.
So are you choosing a car because you like it, or you reckon it's the best for the job?
They're both
generally-
often one the same.
I generally choose a car because I want to drive it.
Okay.
I tend not to choose the OP car because, well, you know.
Sorry, guys. What's OP to a newbie?
Overpowered.
Okay, yeah, very
Like
cool. Yeah.
the best.
So,
It'll be the competitive meta.
yeah. So compared to OP, so from a traction point of view, does 180/60 make a huge difference? As in what traction you're on, does it make a huge difference if you've got full traction in Raceroom? I know it does in ACC, it makes a big difference, but in here, I don't find a big difference between if I'm on 180/60.
Does on the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when your tyres go, you might find yourself bringing it back up.
Yeah. Okay.
But the whole electronics package in Raceroom isn't very good. Just like across the board. It's very basic. It's not just traction control, it's the active stability mechanism, ASM, in there as well. That is one in the same with race cars.
Okay. Jamo, sorry, carry on.
Yep, that's all right.
I was going to say, just watching you here, I find I'm probably too aggressive with my turn. You're nice and smooth with everything you do. I feel I'm probably too sharp. I assume you're very smooth is quicker rather than quickly turning in.
Yeah, you don't want to be. There is some places where you want to turn in quick, but most of the places you've got to be. Especially these, they haven't got that much grip. So if you do a lot of quick inputs, you overload the tyre very quickly.
Also, simulation or simulators don't like sudden inputs. They prefer smooth inputs, unlike real cars.
Oh yeah, I have got a setup on this. I might load it. This is a little bit taily for me, to be honest.
Yeah. So I've got a sim background, and simulators don't like sharp inputs when you're doing manoeuvres.
Damo, how often are you 100% on the brake? Like when you go up to a corner, are you hammer down initially and then kind of trail brake, or are you kind of 70% often going into a corner?
I hammer down most heavy braking, and then it's what some people call like cadence braking. You smash the brake on, and then you back off a little bit before it locks. It's a kind of, I've got some telemetry I can show you guys if you want now of the braking I'm doing. I'll share my screen in Discord. We'll just switch that. Where am I? Discord. Let's see. Racing for 720. Oh, actually, no. I've got to share my screen instead of that program. Let's see. Here we go. I got 3 screens. So I was like, oh, what am I going to share? I need to bring up the other program here in a second. Oh, no, there we go. Screen 1. I might have to shuffle some windows here in a second.
So just while you're doing that, from a brake bias point of view, guys, sorry, this is just information overload I want to get tonight. I'm like a sponge. So do you play around a lot with the brake bias compared to what the basic setup is, or do you just run with that and deal with it and get used to it?
I adjust the brake bias
for your own
to my
preference.
liking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to get the balance that I like.
I
don't tend to adjust it around a lap, but some people do.
Yeah, I would put Ben Gisbergen to shame. I don't just chase it corner to corner, but lap to lap as well. It's always moving on mine.
Yeah. Okay.
I will change it over enduro as the only in some cars. Some cars don't like it, but a lot of cars maybe a couple of percentage points as the more the weight of the fuel.
Hmm.
But in a Tuesday Thunder, I'll barely change it. I get it to where I want it, and that's it.
Okay.
Right. So can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Let's have a look.
I will say that
Shared
the
it.
default setups
no.
are usually pretty decent in this, including the
Okay.
brake
Yeah,
bias.
they're pretty good.
Okay. Thank you. That's good to know because I think I'm overthinking it. Do I click on watch stream?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
You do.
There we go.
So,
Look at that.
Right, microphone's having a hissy fit.
Yeah. You're underwater.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It's probably because I'm streaming.
That's better.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Maybe I was turning sideways. It doesn't like it.
That's better.
So here, it'll play a lap. Will it play a lap? Ooh, yeah, there it goes. You can see that me moving around the track. See what corner I'm on. My brake trace is down here, and you
Wow.
can see I am trail braking.
And
Heavy
so you're not
brake.
actually, are you not actually hitting 100% on the
No,
brake?
I'm not hitting 100. No, that's the heaviest, that one there. But for me, yeah, most of this track is light braking. Apart from that, yeah, corner 2 is the only real heavy brake.
Yep, cool.
So you can see that I'm trail braking quite a bit. There's a very steep initial ramp up to maximum, and then it trails off, and you can see me adjusting it a few times as well, like on that first corner. I back on it a little bit. In this particular lap, that might happen in another lap. But you can see my general braking. It's very quick on, and then I roll off. It can be different in front-wheel drive cars than rear-wheel drive cars, but it's all pretty similar. You can
Is that
definitely see that.
Is that chart in the middle on the left, is that your delta for the lap, is it?
This one here,
Yeah, that one.
that's a steering percentage, showing my steering.
Oh, right, okay.
And the throttle down here, but the braking is probably the most useful one that we're talking about. Now, also, this program will tell me, I'll stop that. It'll give me shows my brake points there. This is just to show you this program. I don't use it as much as I used to now, but it's very useful, and it'll give you a driving line analysis, telling you where you've missed apexes, all that sort of carry on.
Wow.
Might be useful for some of you guys. It is free, but it only runs at 15 minutes at a time. But if you want to run full time, it's about $20, and it will just run as long as you've got it going. But it is a useful tool because it'll give you an overview, and you can load up to 10 laps over each other. For instance, if I load another lap up, and this is all to do with bettering yourself. You can compare your laps. So what have we got here? There. So it overlays everything. You can see here the steering, and it'll do an analysis. No, not that one. We're kind of getting off here, but speed comparison. So it shows you both laps side by side, where I was faster, where I was slower. And that's useful for just by yourself.
There is one
But
nice thing with
I
that
don't-
Z1. It
Yep.
has a little thing there where it sort of lays it out for you in plain English, almost like the engineer's talking to you, rather than
Yes.
you have to try and interpret all the graphs.
Decipher it. Yeah, that is actually it is really good, and it tells you. Yeah, you don't have to figure it out yourself. It'll tell you. So I digress though, but we'll look at the brake. Yes, I do. I am trail braking, and that's much easier if you've got a load cell. But you can do it with a non-load cell pedal. What else do we want to talk about? Do you want to just go run laps and I can follow you guys along and give you tips where you're maybe you should do something different? Something you'd want to do?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
work for me.
Okay. I'll go back, and who wants to run? We can just do a couple laps each, I guess, if you want. Who's on track? Nobody. Or anyone wants to help in a particular corner?
All right, I'll go for a couple laps.
Okay, so who's that?
Rex.
Rex. Okay, cool. All right. I'll just probably chase camera you, I think. Yep. Hope this is helping you guys a little bit.
100%, mate. Just having a chat to you guys and just listening to how you do things is really helping me, irrespective of where I end up. It's just good to get a feel for what you do.
I'd kind of like
appreciate
to make it a weekly thing with maybe either the ranked combo or just a combo, or maybe even the Tuesday Thunder combo. If everyone's interested, we can just, not as in-depth, but we can just go over the tracks.
Yeah, we don't get the track guide anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be really handy, Damo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to join Tuesday Thunder when we get back to 2 hours between over East and Perth. So it'll be 5:30 my time, which would be great.
For me, it's a bit easier than trying to put together a video with my telemetry, and I can still do the telemetry and upload it, and you guys can look at it, but then we can just do it real time. It just makes it a little bit less time consuming for me too, I think, than doing a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I upgraded that little dash that Ranger uses, but Raceroom just doesn't output half the telemetry that I put in it the first time.
Yeah.
For the replays, and it was so annoying because I had
for the replays, it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the pedal traces and everything activated. His brake bias, like literally anything I could pull that would be useful. And the game's just like, nah.
Yeah, I just was running the Z1 and just synced it with the replay, which is, it doesn't take much, but it's a little fiddle. I wonder if I can get... Oh, my camera thing's not working. Oh, there we go. Oh, must add apex a little bit?
Yeah, by miles.
It is a tricky corner. I hate that corner.
I try to leave that one as late as I possibly can.
Yeah.
But I just didn't get there this time.
It is more stable in the Porsche to like turn it a bit late, so you don't just load up that arse.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like to turn and brake at the same time.
Or accelerate, or just brake in general, or turn, or be good, or drivable.
Yeah.
The 944 was the only Porsche they ever made right.
928's a better one. It's got a V8. Oh. Looking pretty smooth there. Not too, nothing too obvious that's sticking out to me. One thing I will say with the traction control and the aids in Raceroom, I don't prescribe to the whole run as little as you can because you'll be a man that way that people seem to spout. Run the traction control that you're comfortable with and you're the fastest with. And often if you're more comfortable, you'll be faster.
Yeah,
I run a lot of traction control a lot of the time because I can be more consistent and faster over a race with it.
Like I said, with the electronics package, the ASM is a part of it. So even if you run like 10%, it's fine. You run 0 and you're going to spin even off throttle. Like you can't run the GT3s or 4s in this game without it. It's meant to be there. It's made for it.
They're built for it. In real life, they're built for it. But for instance, when we ran the ranked the other week at Norris Ring, I had the Porsche because it has maps. I put my turbo maps onto what I normally have my brake bias, and I flicked up and down the maps all lap because it meant I could just put my hammer down and not worry about spinning. So that to me is using all of the tools that are available to me to be faster. I didn't care. Everyone's like, "Oh, what did you do it for?" I'm like, "Because it was faster." I don't get the whole people who try to tell other people to be manly and not use all that stuff. Well, it's in the game. Use it.
I'll be honest, I am one of those people that just go straight to turn it off. Not for any manly reason, but I think it just forces me to be a bit more careful, I think.
I wouldn't bother with that with a GT car.
Yeah, when I sit in my real car, the pillars are off to the side. I don't really see them. So it's my preference. Other people like to be in the cockpit. That's fine.
Do you think you can see the corners better and see the apexes?
Some cars definitely. Some of the prototypes, they've got big wheel arches, and the view is definitely blocked if you're in the cockpit more than when you're on the front of the windscreen. But that's not really why I use it. It's just the view I prefer. I always have. I've run it since God knows when.
Yeah, if you ever watch the F1 esports, they are all using the
T-cam
AirPod.
Yeah. They use the
At
T-cam.
that point, it's objectively better because you can see down beside your car where you're going.
Yeah.
Sometimes chasing realism and what someone on the internet says you need to do is just the wrong move.
There's nothing you need to do. You just need to do what you want to do.
It's a completely different speed, though, isn't it? I'm in the bonnet cam now, and you're going 10 times faster than if you're on a cockpit, aren't you?
That would be
it all
When
depends
you're
on your
looking at it
fault.
on the screen.
Yeah, the FOV.
Yeah. With the only thing I found with Raceroom is the FOV. It doesn't change in the bonnet cam. When you change it in the settings, you actually have to edit files, which is a pain in the ass until you figure it out.
Yeah,
I think there's a tutorial for that.
I run a pretty high FOV from what other people would scream about.
Yeah.
But if I put it to what was correct, it is smaller than what this game offers.
I put it to the correct one in this game and the cockpit view, and it was like, I'm in a fishbowl. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
I think I'm running. I figured out to get the same the FOV as when the cockpit as in on the bonnet, and it worked out to about 73 degrees, which is not even close to what the real one's supposed to be, but that's what looks correct to me.
Yeah, I run about 80.
Yeah, so pretty similar.
Yeah, it gives you a nice speed. It's probably not the most detailed, and I'm not getting the most out of it, but I can see who's beside me a bit. I can see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Which view do you use, Dylan?
The cockpit.
Oh, okay. See, I use that in ACC, but I struggle with it on here. It's bizarre.
So, sorry to be slightly selfish, but with those couple of laps that I ran, is there anything you could see that's out of place, or do I just have to sort of lift the whole thing a couple of percent?
It looked all right to me. I didn't think it was particularly wrong. Maybe be a little bit, especially some of the faster corners, not so jumpy on the brakes, like just squeeze the brake more than jump on it, because that unsettles the car. Just try. I mean, you'll fly off the track a few times, you won't brake enough, but you'll find a few corners where instead of jumping on the brake, just squeeze it on, and then roll off it will be faster because the car doesn't get unsettled.
Okay.
I will say, from what I prefer to drive of the Porsche, you can just start to, like at the very start, to wait up the outside and get it turned in a bit earlier.
Okay.
Especially because there is no weight on the front. If you try to do that too late, you're going to wash off.
Yep.
It's a car that you drive it more like Craig Lowndes. If you ever watched the Carrera Cup here, you'll know exactly what I mean. They turn it in very early.
Yeah, Porsches have a particular. Well, that's a mid-engine one, isn't it? That MR. It's the mid-engine one.
Still
I find the things very,
Porsche.
very, like, it always wants to turn around if you turn it without doing anything else. Like, I find that sometimes if you turn with a little bit of brake or you turn with a little bit of throttle, you always get a better result than just turning, coasting.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're controlling the pitch of the car a bit more using the throttle and the brake.
It's also a car.
Rather than just
The traction control has a pretty big feel on that one compared to the rest.
I'm just having a play at the moment, Damon. I'm coming up to. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay, when I get to. I'm just having a little play around. I'm coming to the corner where I want to know where you brake, so not this one.
Yeah.
When I come to this one, I see the orange on the right and I turn in. It's when I come out of the next one, when I'm braking into the final corner, where do you brake on that? Because I think I'm too early. So there's a bit of
corner coming up.
Yeah, there's a bit of dark tarmac. Where do you? Whereabouts?
just
Anywhere
before
on here or?
I'm braking probably just at the grass, where the grass ends.
Yeah. Okay.
On the side there.
And this corner here, I whatever I try, this is the one I find the hardest. Do you go wide, brake at the one, and then turn in? I feel like I brake too early.
Just before the one, you've got to just don't brake hard. Just squeeze on the brake and try and keep the car settled and down a gear and down another gear, and then sort of you have to ease off the brake a little bit, otherwise the rear gets light.
Yeah, very light on the brake.
You've got to try and get the car. What is that? What I call get it set into the way that it wants to sit as you're rolling into that corner. It'll sort of sit sideways a little bit, and you'll get a feel for it after a while. And you can roll on. You can sort of control it on the brake.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things you have to be gentle because that's a falling away corner off camber. It's just fucking horrible.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I'm almost steering with the brake at that point, and the steering wheel's not doing much at all.
Yeah.
Those two corners, you are right at that point where you're putting in too much lock as well.
Yeah, okay. So elaborate a bit on that for me, Dylan.
You can hear it going from like just chirping and scrubbing to actively screaming, and you are at that point where you are sliding the front.
Yeah, okay, because I'm being too aggressive.
There's actually a scatter plot in Z1 of the steering that will show you that. It has a lot of dots and it will show you how many lateral G's you're getting for how much steering angle. And then after a while you can see your lateral G's aren't increasing with your steering angle. And that's actually a useful tool to see if you're oversteering. That you can go look back on laps. But you can tell by the tyre squeal too.
Yeah, I feel I'm constantly, when I'm going around certain corners, I'm going in too aggressive and I'm losing time because I'm squealing as I come out.
Yeah, try to do the old school, slow and fast out.
Yeah,
try and brake a little bit earlier, try and keep it smoother, and try and maximise your exits. And then after you've got that, then you can start coming in deeper and harder once you've got your coming out of the corner better. It's one of those things you've got to be smooth, and it is hard.
Yeah, I don't want to hijack the lap, but this KTM is a car that likes a very European open wheeler style of driving, because it has a very centre of gravity and good downforce. It likes the later apexes and big throttle.
Because it likes to rotate, and so you can rotate it later in the corner.
Yeah, it's the best handling one. Also, this corner here, Same for you, Rex. You need to be further to the right. You need to
Over
get
here.
it braked, I think, probably earlier than you guys expect.
Oh,
And
sorry,
get it rotated
hang on,
a lot harder. Get it in
I missed which corner that was.
the second
you-
last one.
If I go in, Dylan, could you maybe show us, or is that asking too much?
Actually,
mind.
do you mind, Dylan, if I just try and follow you?
Yeah, you can all follow.
All right.
Yeah, that corner, you've got to brake a bit earlier than you think you should because there's camber on the inside of the corner and it pulls you in. If you brake too late, you kind of miss it and you just run wide. It's a strange corner. There's a few corners in various tracks like that.
It might take me a while. I haven't driven this thing in a while.
Yeah, perfect start.
But I find these two corners to be the hardest for me, mostly because of track limits. Because track limits in this game is just lol.
Yeah, that corner before, the track limit kicks in on the second short bit of curb. You can be out quite wide on the wide bit, the thin bit, you have to pull back onto the track because the track limit sort of veers back onto the track. It's kind of strange.
So to get that corner that you've been missing, it's not necessarily that corner. Like you have to set up for it. It starts here. Like a lot of curb. I don't like the one on the left because it sucks you off, and not in a good way.
You can take a lot of curb in this next corner here as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
on
like
exit
to-
as well.
I like to run it in, especially because I like the front-wheel
so be
drives
a-
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of the track.
Yeah,
Oh.
back at the X, and you were going to take like that much off it, and careful with the runoff here. You don't touch the grass, only the curb.
Yep.
The more speed you carry through that corner, the more you're going to have through here, and it is just free time from there.
So you want to be on that curb on that second to last corner.
I think you can cut it the whole car width, from what I remember.
Yeah, you can be straddling that inside one.
Back when we did the Group 2s, and that was a Yeet Fest.
Yeah.
Turn 1 I do very differently. Like for me, the apex isn't even on the corner. Me and Damo differ in driving styles quite a lot.
I like to do the early apex, stand it on its nose, balance it on the nose. That's why I don't like oversteery cars, because they don't like that.
Now that last corner, Dylan, how you swung hard to the outside, is that your usual thing? Like basically swing hard across the track to get onto the outside for entry into the next
Yeah,
one?
because you want to open that corner as much as possible, like all of them.
So it's less of a sort of flowing S and more of like a quite abrupt like repositioning?
You don't really swing. As you're exiting the right-hander, you just aim to the right of the track, and you sort of straight line down. And then as you're braking for the left-hander, you sort of turn in. You don't really swing. You just aim for the where you
so
want to be
essentially
braking.
turn a little bit more out of the corner.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
that's
you're
what I do.
basically reducing your steering input to get round that corner.
Yeah. We're increasing the radius, which increases your speed.
This while we're driving around, is there anywhere where you can ghost another car's time in Raceroom like you can in some of the other sims? You know, where you can follow it around?
That'll be the leaderboard.
But you have to be driving in the car. You can't just follow it. You have to be in your car. So it has to be a car that's a similar pace so that you can keep up to it.
And how do they you just put the ghost on under the settings and it comes up, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can also chase your own ghost.
Yeah, I can do that. I just once day when we were doing the leaderboard, I was trying to challenge you. I thought I pressed challenge to get you as a ghost, but nothing happened. I got your time, but I didn't get you as a ghost to see where you were driving.
Yeah,
He'd already got a hit.
Yeah, okay, but
You can bind your ghost function to a button or a keyboard binding, and then you can turn it off and on as you like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I like this corner, but it's so blind, you have to just feel your way through it almost.
I used to be afraid of it, but now I must say, after running this course like the last couple of nights, it's actually one of my favourites.
Yeah, especially when you get it just perfect, it's just like, oh yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
because
that's my favourite corner of the track for sure.
and because
Yeah.
it just feels like an extension of the last corner. Like you haven't even stopped turning the one before.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come past.
Cheers.
Now this track hasn't particularly got any strange, what do I call, you can compromise a corner line to maximise a straight afterwards, or compromise an exit from a corner to, because you don't need to carry the speed.
It's
So that
not.
may be something we'll look at a different track maybe.
It's not a very technical track. It's a very
No.
old school Grand Prix flow, speed, slow in, fast out.
Yeah. There's some tracks like
Ningbo.
Yeah, there's a few examples. I'll have to think of them where I will compromise a corner quite badly entry-wise because there's no fast straight afterwards, so it doesn't matter if you're slow around it, and it helps to block the other people. And conversely, there's a few tracks where you really need to get that lengthen the straight. Basically, I'll find a few examples during the week, and maybe I'll post up about them. It's just another thing where I don't ever run the race line because I don't want to be forced into running the line, because quite often the line is not correct, especially when you're racing other people. So it's something I don't use. It's good for learning the track. You can use it if you want to learn the track.
I think Chris has chosen a good combo with regards to tyre wear compared to fuel wear for Sunday.
Yeah. So would you guys be wanting to run like another one with, say, not the Saturday's combo, but maybe the Saturday endurance combos, or would you rather run like a Tuesday Thunder combo?
Yeah, I
training?
think I like the idea of like a Thursday track day ready for
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, anything will help me, mate. If I can make it, I'd love to soak it all up.
Yeah. And then once you guys get a bit more confident, a bit faster, I wanted to try and do it for the Saturday combos. A lot of you won't be able to run Saturdays, I guess. It was something I wanted to try to up the participation a little bit, even though Racing F's me off sometimes with that shit, but more people racing will make more people race. But yeah, we can do Tuesday Thunder, that'll be fine.
Just something I've noticed as everyone's driving around with the car selections, both the Porsche and the AMG must have low ride heights because they're scraping on the ripple strips. So for Sunday, you might just want to put them up just a fraction until that scraping disappears.
Yeah, I noticed that on Andrews actually when I was following on this corner here, the first corner, when he goes round it, I get a lot of sparks.
Yeah,
and Rex as well just got it.
That will make you unstable out or into some corners if you happen to hit the ripple strip and you're sliding over the top of them.
You can't eliminate it. You can't eliminate it completely a lot of the time, but if you can minimise it, then that's helpful. So anything else you want to talk about? You guys want to ask or just want to relax?
That was great. Thanks, Dan.
No,
Good.
thank you, Damo.
No worries.
Dane, thank you. I really appreciate it. I think I've learned. I think I just chase times, which is wrong. When I'm practicing, I'm just trying to chase times rather than drive around and get the right.
Chase the rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm learning that, and I'm learning that as you just said on this last one that we're coming up to, Dylan, I'm turning in too much. So this one here I like. I've got the little orange bit I go to, but the next one, I think I turn in too much, and I think I've learned that, and I'm turning in too much rather than going wider like you've suggested like that. So I've taken that already today, which is great. So it's been very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you've got any questions, you can PM me, that's fine. As well, later on, anytime during the week, it doesn't matter. I'm always glad to help.
No, it's awesome. Thank you.
I'd rather have guys be faster to give me a challenge.
Mhm.
I'd rather guys be at 100%.
I'd rather you
When
just
I-
slow down.
when I beat them. I was always like that when I used to do rate control cars, like very competitively sponsored and that sort of carry on. And I'd always help. Of course you hold a little bit back because you don't want to give them all the secrets, but I'd rather someone was at 100% of their game to race than I beat them because they, they were having issues. It's like, that's not fun. I don't mind losing either. It's just as it's fun to have a good hard race.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind sharing the setups with people. So just makes the racing more even.
No, it's very helpful. It has been helpful for me to understand Shane more than anything, and I think I've learned that obviously the setup doesn't always work for everyone. Dylan shared one and you shared one, and they were pretty much polar opposites with regards to what you tweaked. So that got me to learn that there's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak.
What about my one? I think I shared my one, didn't I? For the
I couldn't get to it. It gone before. I think they removed the actual bubble cup. So,
yeah, it's down the bottom. It goes to archive. You can go down the bottom.
Okay, see, I'm still learning that. Okay, I'll have to go and have a look at that. Because it was there in the morning, and then by the afternoon it gone. I thought, oh, bugger, I'm sure I saw that. I'm not going mad. I thought I was going senile and believing things.
I know Rangy was running way less wing than me. He was running like 5 or something stupid, and I was running 8. I was like, no wonder I couldn't catch the bastard on the straight.
Yeah, he likes his cars a bit oversteery.
Yeah. I only jumped into that race.
How much wing did you run at Zandvoort, Shane?
I'll have a look.
I was running 0.
I don't think I was running 0.
Like 0 rear wing at Zandvoort in GT3, I think shows you what I was trying to get out of that thing.
That Z BMZ said it's not that easy to drive, is it?
It's easy to drive, but if you're trying to get the last bit out of it, it can be difficult because it's a bit twitchy. Well, when you get set it up so that it actually turns, it can be a bit.
GT3 in this game is multi-class in itself. Like there are just good cars and there are bad cars. And
like
sometimes it's like the bad one.
Yeah, I think it's like Damo said at the very beginning, it's learning the behaviour of the car you're driving and driving to that.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, you can adjust your driving a bit. And sometimes, like, I don't like super oversteering cars. And some people do. But I can drive an understeering car faster than a lot of people because that's what I like. Well, that's what I can drive fast. Put it that way. Most of the time.
It sounds weird, but I like the understeering cars, but something that I can like move it around if I need to.
Yeah.
Like that Mustang GTO we had the other week. I love that car in this game. But I'm also disappointed at how basic and almost like a GT3 it can feel. I'd rather them put Group 5 tyres on it.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed the Group 5 the other week. I was running that was actually good for a change. They're very raw, those cars.
So what happened Sunday, guys? Obviously, unfortunately, I couldn't even join the race. I couldn't get onto the grid. Was there other issues as well?
There was bugs and glitches galore that day.
Yeah, okay.
It was just a shit show.
I just, as soon as the safety car came out, I pressed drive and I could see you all. I could see the grid, but I couldn't physically get out of the screen onto the grid, and I was done.
Yeah, it seems the safety car things brought a whole lot of bugs out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just
I
hope it
kind
doesn't
of want to
happen this
just
weekend.
ask Paul to not run safety car for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
We're better
Tuesday
testing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
we're better testing it.
they need to start paying us.
Yeah.
So Dylan, I was running wing angle 3 at Zandvoort.
You decadent bastard.
And one thing that came across at the Scandinavian the other week in the CR1s as well, when I was running a strange double apex line, who was it that tried to follow me and then ran off the track?
Me?
Yeah,
I did as well. I did it.
Yeah.
I just was following you. I wasn't looking at the corner. I was just waiting for you to turn. I did with Rex a couple of times as well, instead of just doing my driving line. And I've got to learn that. I was just following the car in front, which was the wrong thing to do.
I never used to like to do that double apex, that middle, and because I used to fly off the track, and I found that it was because I was looking where I was going. I wasn't looking where I wanted to go. You've got to kind of, the first apex, let it run wide and look for your second apex out the side, rather than look where you're going. You just ignore the car and just got to believe that it's still going to be on the tarmac.
Was that
If you look where you're going, you're going to run off the track. I found you've just got to believe that you're not going to, and look where you want to go.
So was that that banked curve at Zandvoort where I ran off the top lip trying to follow your line?
Andersthorpe.
Was it Scandinavian, eh? Yeah. You said it was that lip. Yeah, you sort of ran off over the bank, and I did it one time as well. Yeah,
it went straight off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
Yeah, for me, I found I did that when like I said, when I was looking where I was going rather than looking where I wanted to go. That's something that takes practice to stop looking where you're going and looking where you want to go. It's difficult to teach yourself.
Yeah, I was doing a very NASCAR line. Like, it was the only way I could help myself through that.
What, tight?
No, I entered mid. I sort of stayed mid, and it's really tight, like parallel to the exit.
Yeah,
it had the downfalls.
I started off doing the tight line, and then I just gradually started to basically double apex it, and I found it was faster watching my deltas, so I kept doing it.
Yeah, it's fine to go high at that track until you hit the marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just shouldn't have practiced that maneuver during a race. I should have done that some of the time just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
It might be worth fourth gear through there, Mark.
Okay.
Also, get that trail braking. Get that trail braking working a bit harder, especially in the up in the GP section and around turn 2.
So if you don't know what the effect of trail braking does, it sort of is like steering the car but with your brake pedal. So you're just tapping it very slightly just to get the nose where you want it to point.
Yeah. You're basically keeping the front tyres loaded so that they've got more grip. Because if you back off the brakes completely, your front tyres will unload as the car pitches backwards.
Yeah, you only need like 10% brake pressure on the pedal.
It's not much.
Yeah, very light.
And like if you looked at my telemetry earlier, I think that I'm doing a lot of trail braking, but when you look at the trace, it's like you're not doing much. Like it's just fractions of a second, tenths of a second rather. It feels like forever when you're doing it, but when you look at the actual data, you're not doing much.
turning that tyre squeal up is it really changes the game, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that was, you entered that corner too fast.
Yeah, no, it's
Because it
just
was
missed
all right
it.
through the middle, but then at the end, this tyre squeal, it means you came into the corner at too much speed. You carried too much speed, and you can't scrub it off because your front tyres are already loaded to the max. It's hard on those because these GT4s don't have as much grip as you think they should.
But at the same time, they also have a lot of grip.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like,
High speed, they don't have much.
Yeah, it's also just a race room thing where there is more grip in all these cars than you ever expect.
I actually hated these cars when they first came out in this game. I thought they were piles of shit.
Yeah, that's why I drove the Lotus.
Yeah, I like the Lotus. It's fun.
It's a Chad.
KTM's fun.
I've actually never tried it.
It's a go-kart.
I've raced the Expo, the single class one, a couple of times. That's quite good.
Yeah,
The open top one.
I found the AMG. I did a few laps 2 days ago. That you want to get it almost completely rotated before mid-corner, because that way the weight on the front is going to understeer you out. And really, the aim of the game is getting on that accelerator sooner. Doesn't matter what car it is.
Yeah.
Like that is just racing. More throttle is better until it's not, literally.
Yeah.
Like especially their mark.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
Later Apex, both these. The front will drag you out and you just power through it. Also, you might want to put a traction control down 2 notches.
I run 4 or 5 in the Lotus normally because these things have got so much grip acceleration.
Yeah, except for Simon's Enduro, I think I was running 2 at Dubai.
I've saved your rear tyres a bit.
No, I was just destroying them because the Lotus can't do the same fuel mileage as the rest of the cars, and they won't fix it.
Yeah.
So I had to always make another stop compared to every other car. So my philosophy was full yeet. I still managed to win Bathurst. The only one that matters.
Yeah, I find a lot of the corners on this track, they require a lot of commitment. You need to know that the car's going to go where you want it to on the apex, on the exit, because you can't see the exit. It's kind of strange. You've got to be committed. Otherwise, you're just going to be slow.
If it's too much slip, just up 1 traction control mark. I find that GT4 in general just doesn't mind moving around. It's a very basic road car.
That AMG is definitely scraping on the ground.
Go in and raise it up. Raise it up 5 clicks, front and back.
It even scrapes on the ground at the bottom of the dipper on the first corner.
Yeah.
It's just the front splitter because the bumper sits lower. All that is actually modelled. I saw someone whinging about the TCR Renault scrapes compared to the Astra. It's just because they sit at a different height. But too much steering angle, Mark. More can be less.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think Ossersleben would be a great track to learn to drive for people.
Where's that, Dylan? Which? What's it called?
Ossersleben. It's in Germany.
Is it on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's old DTM and ADAC GT Masters track. turn 1 is like a 90-degree, and turn 2 is like 270-degree rotation. Like it will teach you patience like a German dominatrix.
It's I'm sure it's in the GTM series. I was watching that last year. I'm sure it was one of the latter races in that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. I know what you're talking about.
Or if not DTM, I know it's in GT Masters.
Yeah, I'm sure it was on DTM.
I've always liked super technical tracks more than GP style. It's just like my preference. I would put Suzuka as probably my least favourite track ever.
I like balls to the walls tracks. Just, you have to commit.
Like those Chinese tracks in the game, I love them. I love Shanghai, Zhuhai, Ningbo, and Zhejiang. I think they're all great. It's just the way I drive, really. Like, you can't hate Zhuhai. It's straight into a hairpin into a couple 90 degrees with more straights. Now riding on with Damo. Oh, he touched the grass. There you go. 0 out of 10.
Yep.
Play yourself.
It's all cold. Outlet.
I'll ride on with Rex, the bubble glass superstar, apparently.
I don't know where you got that from.
I don't know, some knob on the internet. Yeah, this Porsche is risk versus reward. Right. The more to the edge, the faster, and by a long shot. But as you found out, you will just loop it. It's a car that doesn't like you.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for difficult cars.
But as you can probably tell, as you get on the throttle, it's just going to go straight. Like, it's got that rear grip. It'll plant its ass down and go like a dog on worms. A Porsche is very similar, like just in terms of driving, than our V8 supercars are.
It's behind me go past, so I want to see how you drive, so I'm just going to slow down. Don't know who it is. Andrew, okay.
Yeah.
But mind you, I still haven't got anywhere near that.
Try a bit further left here, Rex.
Okay, as in enter. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
enter
I know what you
from
mean.
further to the left, yeah.
Yeah, also load up and start turning in sooner. Not by a lot, but it'll probably put you a car width or half a car width over compared to the other cars. It's just a Porsche thing.
Alright.
It'll also help you if you ever drive the Porsche Cups. I think we've got a couple of races coming up with them. That's a nightmare. Apexes in the Porsche tend to be a bit longer, a bit tighter, more rounded.
Nope.
Or you just scraped the bottom again, Andrew, around that first corner.
Could go a bit wider than I was intending, but
Yeah, really, with a lot of sparks. You look good.
I did raise it up there 5 clicks, but maybe it needs a little bit more.
So further left.
Yep.
I feel like I'm about to stick those two wheels off. So how much more room did I have there?
About half a metre to a metre, maybe half a metre. Oh, sorry, I distracted you.
That was alright, all me. I got out of it pretty well though.
Yeah, that tends to happen if like you're asking too much too late. That's why I'm trying to push you towards that early turn in, because then you have half of the job is done for the corner before you even get there. Turn 2 and 3 are pretty biggies. There, I would get it like turned in before you break it. Like I would break it towards the ripple strip. You're not a fan of Porsches, are you, Damo?
Oh man, I feel again.
Not really. I can drive them okay, but they need a different. They need a certain driving style. I find I have to drive them point and squirt. I like the Group 5 one. That was fun.
Sorry, Matt.
All good, Simon.
Yeah, see, there's a lot more grip on that corner, Mark.
Yeah, I think I've, I don't know, I'm just approaching it wrong.
But there's more than you expected the first time around, and from the first few laps we saw.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It sucks you in with a wide entry and a narrow exit. Simon,
Yep.
you ever watched an onboard lap of Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, I watched Formula One. Why?
Because his driving style would perfectly suit this car.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying new things.
He is very notorious for that very oversteery like exit. It just pivots around his arse. That very late and square exit to the corner. That is a driving style that suits the KTM.
Yeah.
I call it a very European style because the more of that, the faster the F1 driver is. You know?
I know exactly what you mean there.
Yeah, so what I do, like I come into this corner, I feel like I've turned too much, and then I have to turn the other way to come out. And I just obviously haven't got that bit right, that when I go into a corner, I come round, I go in, and sometimes I feel like I've like turned too much and I have to turn the other way to come back out. And I suppose that's just practice and getting used to it.
Or you slow down too much.
Yeah.
Give yourself 2 clicks more re-brake bias.
As in up? So go from 57 to 59?
No, you want to go down, more rear
Oh,
brake.
okay. Okay, rear, sorry, I thought you said more. Yeah, okay, alright. Okay, yeah, so...
It'll
I'll
turn a fraction bit early and apex.
Not that you should try it, but I generally have something like 54 brake bias on this car.
Yeah, on the KTM.
Yeah, but it takes a bit of practice to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the KTM, you want the Grand Prix driving style. You want it to rotate late and heavy, get the job done, accelerate out. It's not the most powerful car. You want the throttle as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. This has been really helpful. See, I've turned too much then, and I'm just about to keep it.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm you, but also
No,
want to try and
No, just
get you up
mate,
the right
I'm a
tree.
sponge. Just tell me everything. I'm a sponge. So I know I'm too aggressive in my driving. I know I'm trying to get there too quickly, and I'm learning to try and be slower, to be more consistent. And I think what
Right
I've learned,
now, your racing line is like the biggest thing that needs to change in general.
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to be mean, but it's every corner.
as in I'm
There's
not.
just like more to have it. Like, keep it to the left, up here until you start braking. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going in too early.
Get the curb. Yep. And the exit.
Okay.
And same here. You got to turn late, hobble the inside curb.
That curve there.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
you want to be
So,
two wheels, white line.
so Simon,
Right
take advantage of the dark patches on the track.
Yeah.
It's the main racing line.
Maybe-
Not all corners, but a lot of them. The dark patches are where you want to be.
Maybe try turning on the race line, the optimum line. and
Yeah, I
try-
used to do that, and I think I'll go back to that based on what you guys are telling me now. But it's been fantastic. It really is good to know where I've got to learn. I'm open to as much help as possible while I'm getting used to it, because I'm too aggressive. I try to get there too quickly, and I'm trying to learn the racecraft. You know.
Just use it to learn the track and learn your line, and then once you've done it, you can turn it off. You won't need it.
Yeah, I run out of fuel.
I don't judge. I'm all for accessibility.
Yeah, no.
But
Also,
especially for disability, like especially games like this need to do more. So
No,
I
no,
don't
that-
judge if you want to just keep driving line on forever. To be honest.
yeah, no. I try not to, because I don't think it's the answer. But I did used to have it on, but I've learned so much to take away from tonight. So I really, really do appreciate it, guys. And onwards and upwards, as they say.
Yeah,
So
guys,
many-
I mean, it's fantastic. Thanks, Damo, Dylan, and Shane. That's awesome.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, guys. I'm going to have to drop off. It's 6 o'clock my time, so I've got to think about feeding the animals, so to speak.
I have to go as well, I think.
Yeah, but thank you, guys. If you ever do one again, please let me know if I'm around. I'd love to join, but I really do appreciate your time and your input.
No worries.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, guys. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Hope to see
Thanks
you
for
Sunday,
coming.
and let's hope I can get on the grid. So thank you, guys.
I'll
Yeah, right.
stick around if any of you want to.
Yeah, I've got to jump off. Thank you, guys. See you at the weekend. Take care.
So,
Right.
Simon.
Yep.
Cheers. Bye.
Well, I reckon I might leave as well. However, I think in probably an hour or two, I might come back and do a bit more if anyone's around.
It'll be after midnight in NZ.
Yeah. What do we got here? I think it was 7:30 Adelaide, 8:30, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. here.
9 o'clock
Holy
here.
moly.
Paul said he'd come on later when there was nobody on the server and restart it into the regular what it was without the password. So if everyone gets off later and comes back, there might not be a password on
Although I was doing rally at 1 o'clock this morning.
it.
Well, thank you very much for that, guys. That was sensational.
Yeah, no worries.
And if
We'll
it does
do it.
work out as a Thursday track day thing, that would be lovely.
I
Yeah,
think
we'll
we
do
should-
the combo next week for Tuesday Thunder.
Yeah, I reckon for Tuesday Thunder it would be a hit. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll help that being like a cup class sort of approach.
Yeah.
The problem with GT4 is they're all very, very different.
Yep.
They have a lot of personality, and people will tend to gravitate what suits their driving style. So this isn't probably the easiest way to learn some like basic techniques.
So, Rex, you probably didn't see any of Rangy's videos for Tuesday Thunder?
No, I did actually. I think I saw 4 or 5 of them. I reckon.
Okay.
Because my first race with you guys was the Opel. What's the Opel? Is it not the Manta?
The Omega.
The Omega. Yeah, the Omega at the short Silverstone.
That was my pick. That was my pick.
Yeah, that was my first race with you guys. I was one of those things because it was my first thing. I generally don't really do too much multiplayer stuff. I was hammering around there, and I thought, yeah, I'm doing all right here. I'm getting good. And then come race day, I sort of it was a smack in the face as to just how outclassed I was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
JB.
It's one of those things where you sort of. I'm probably pretty bad for it. I convince myself that I'm doing all right. And then just a little something happens, like you see someone else or whatever, and then you realise that, no, you're not really doing that well at all.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. I used to put in a fair amount of practice for TTs, and then would get to qualifying, and I'd be like 1.5 seconds slower. I'd be like, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, so
in the race,
I've seen a handful of those. So I've seen a handful of those Rangy videos, and I had a hard time trying to sort of replicate what he was doing. There must be some tiny little details in there at the fingertips and the toes that I just can't get, because he still has massive gap over the end of his sort of those example runs.
He isn't the best teacher, I'll be honest, but it comes with seat time and rhythm, like not just rhythm of the track, but with your body, what your feet and hands do. So I reckon the most important thing is just to be comfortable when you drive.
Mm.
I wouldn't be pushing yourself or your body to the limit with the hardest brake pedal and all that, just for the level that we race at, this group.
Yeah.
Like, we're not serious. Most of them are people just race for the sake of racing something that week. I also won my first Tuesday Thunder, so...
I'd also suggest having a couple of look at the videos, the driving style differences between DDF and Brody. Brody is extremely smooth when it comes to entering and exiting corners, and Dan's a little bit more hectic, but they both get the same results. So it's just interesting to watch the different styles they have.
Every now and then I find myself I can sort of like compete near their level. But if it's something like an open wheeler or something, I'm nowhere near him.
Oh, not with Dan. He's just crazy good in those open wheelers.
He's definitely stepped it up since he's got the DD. That's definitely made a difference.
Yeah, I think it has, actually. Yeah.
Before that, I was just quicker than him, and now a lot of time he's just quicker than me after the DD. It definitely made a difference, especially in the open wheelers.
I know me and Damo have very different driving styles, especially some cars. Like we go back to the 190E at Mantorp, which is a combo I love and driven quite a bit.
Yes, very good one.
Me driving those cars are very different to anyone else in this group, just in terms of line and what I want to get from them and all that.
Yeah.
I even gave Tobes, the German guy, a run for his money at Zolder.
I like that car. It's nice to drive on the throttle. It's quite fun.
It's just a fantastic drive in general.
Mm.
It's also interesting looking at some of the leaderboards. If you look at, say, the top 5 on the leaderboards, and then you compare that to the Raceroom ideal race line, they're completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, especially at the top, they're the esports guys. Really what you want to do at that level is find a way to break the game. There's no such thing as a fair advantage at that level.
No. Yeah, it's a bit stupid. It's like, don't race, break the game is the game.
Yeah, it's find all the cheat spots, really. You know, how close you can cut it to a particular corner and get away with it and get some extra time.
Like it goes as far as Tim Heineman, and if you don't know that story, he literally hacks and cheats in every game he races in. He's been banned from everything except Raceroom because he's friends with the CEO, and he now races in ADAC GT Masters in a Raceroom sponsored car. I know many people that have raced against him in the esports DTM stuff. So really what I would say is just take that top level and don't bother unless you're at that level yourself. But literally, esports, don't even get yourself interested or worked up in trying to replicate them, because it's learning to run before you can walk.
It's a job. It's not, racing for fun. It's a job.
Yeah, you won't have fun pushing yourself that every week. Unless it's silhouettes at Bathurst. In that case, fuck those guys. I'm going to beat them. That's my mountain bitch.
All right, I'm going to go, guys. It's time to do something else, I think.
Yeah, thanks for that, Damo.
Thanks, Damo.
Yeah, I
And,
might catch you Sunday, I think. I don't think I'll make it Saturday. Yeah, it'll be Sunday.
Yep, same here, just Sunday.
Yeah, so. All right, catch you guys later.
All right, see ya.
Thanks.
I'll
See you,
head
Mark.
up as well. Thanks, guys. It was awesome. Cheers.
No worries, Mark. See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Rex,
be going as well.
Yeah.
before you go, remember, if you're in the Porsche, you turn in early. Like,
I got to try and wrap my head around that because
go watch the onboard.
Now, as far as turn in early, do I have to do anything as in change of speed or anything like that, or literally just turn the wheel earlier than I reckon I'm going to?
Point it to the apex a bit earlier as you're braking.
Okay. So is there anywhere on that track? So you just blanket across the track, or is there anywhere I was closer than other places to getting it right?
In general, it's a Porsche thing, but turn 2 and turn 3, it's very noticeable.
Okay, to do it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's just where I'm going to say you
yeah.
probably have a big F.
Okay.
It's also good watching your own replay back, and then you'll figure out which corners you're not quite making the right entry to, and then you can work on it.
Because I do have a hard time just stringing them all together in one good lap.
Yeah, if you take the Porsche, it's just a very, very, very different style. It's actually how Simon is driving quite a lot right now.
Yep.
And he needs to do the opposite. He needs to do what you're doing.
Okay.
And in the replays, I tend to have the camera that's right above the car, but zoom right back,
Yep.
so that you can see all the track and the car.
It doesn't record like just practice session relays, does
No.
it? Replays, does it? Ah, okay.
It has to be a race or a qualifying session. The session needs to complete, I think.
I'd have a look in the video section. I'd be surprised. I think your race today, or the laps you did today, should be in the video there somewhere.
Okay. Because I've also got little second monitor running, so I've got little squiggly lines and all that sort of stuff. But, so I'll have a closer look. If not, I'll do some leaderboard stuff, and then I know it saves that replay. So I'll go.
Yep.
and have a look at that.
It's always good just to check how close you're getting to the edges of the road where you want to be to make those turns bigger or wider, rather than what's the word? Reducing your steering input to get around the same corner.
Yep. Because when you said go further left, sort of at the end of the long straight there, like from my point of view, I race in car, and from my point of view, I felt dangerously close to actually going onto the grass, and I thought, well, if I touch the grass, I can't turn in.
Yeah, but if you look at the replay, you had heaps of space on the left there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that might be down to your FOV.
Okay. Well, I've got it set as, shall we say, accurate.
Yeah, it tends to be very narrow. Things move very slowly, and you tend to struggle with a bit left and right.
Yep.
The distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I find the field of view can be very track dependent. Some tracks I'll be 85, others I'll be 75. So it's just how I perceive the world to be, really.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to correct FOV bullshit. I think that is just sucking the fun out for a lot of people.
And it can make a big difference at some tracks, just getting that right.
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of got I'm perfectly sort of happy with the way it all looks and moves around in front of me. So I think it's just a sort of a misjudgment as to how wide the car is, I suppose, from my point of view.
You just need to know or realise where the front corners of the car is when you're driving.
Yep.
I'll see if I can find the old TT of the Porsche Cup we did. Because my racing line was just memes. It was what I was saying about early Apexes, but to the extreme.
I know I liked your comment about Craig Lowndes. He tunes in really early.
Yeah, that is exactly what you need to do in a Porsche.
Okay.
More Craig, less Jamie Whincup.
So logically, then that's that. So if I turn in slightly earlier, then that. Well, I don't know. Just sort of thinking out loud, would that mean I have I suppose, then logically, I have an extra couple of K an hour that I can be going on entry.
You can usually dive bomb, but you need to be careful because something like the KTM will turn very late and not see you.
Yep.
It'll turn before you're there, and if you've committed to a crash.
I have raced that Lotus a couple of times. I do like the Lotus. Feels a bit more sure-footed, but yeah, like I said, I think I just prefer the difficult car. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the
I
Lotus
find it more rewarding.
The Lotus drives really well. It's just really hard on either the left or right tyre, depending on the track. The front tyre, that is.
Yep.
Actually, I found an old JB video. I don't think you used to remember when JB was in charge of Tuesday Thunder.
No, it only came August last year, so I think it was all rangy mainly.